William, there you are. Everybody's been asking, where's Will? Where's Will? He's right here.
Hi, guys.
William,
Just coach football, man. That's all.
Where the heck have you been? Tell the people.
So I've been coaching some high school football. It's my first year as the DC for my current squad, and there's been a lot of work to be done. So just been doing that, man. That's it. Just doing that.
You guys had a game Thursday?
We did.
Who'd you play? Anyone like relevant? Anyone like maybe in the house?
We played my son's team. Yeah, we did. Played my son's team.
How did it go?
So caveat, we did not win, guys. We did not win. We did not win. But I am extremely proud. And this is not like a one of those things where you just say like, hey man, you're proud. No. These guys played phenomenally. It's probably, I think a couple people messaged me right after. I was like, man, this is probably the best defensively I've seen a D-line play. Like our D-line was just nasty. Just super proud of those kids, man. They played a great game. We just got to put the whole thing together. But yeah, super proud of them. Did pretty good. But
I have a follow-up question.
I do not have the bragging rights in my house, if that's what you're gonna ask.
How are you handling this demotion? First, like more importantly, like now that you're not the man of the house, not the house.
I'm not handling it well.
Is Taj walking around with the shirt that says like, I got the big D in this house now? Like,
I will say this. So there was because I haven't even got a chance to tell you this real quick. There was a punt return for a TD. Like the kid had one guy to beat. Shout out to my boy Alex. Alex was taking it to the house, and Taj made a touchdown saving tackle. Yeah, not happy about it. But yeah, he's reminded me of that. I don't know, probably 162 times already in only a few days. But yeah.
Yep. So if someone were to move out of the house, would it be you? Would it be him? Like, does someone have to find a new home for like the foreseeable future?
I will say this. He's been wearing a shirt that just has a silverback on the front of it. So I'm like, I think, I think there might be a couple of digs being put out there, is what I'm saying.
Now, I also heard another little rumor, and I think you told me this, so it's not really a rumor. I want to know if it actually happened. And guys, this is just a little segue. We're going to get into some Detroit Lions talk. We're just kind of letting some people see that Steve and Will are live. So if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. But I do need to know another thing. You told me this a while ago that you're the defensive coordinator, and your son plays quarterback for the other team, correct? For Woodhaven?
He does.
And you had told me that a lot of your audibles and signals were to troll him in a way by calling out, like, I think it was his girlfriend's name, his mom's name. So like, did that actually happen?
So actually they ended up changing his position, and there was a different kid that played quarterback. So we did not do that. But yes, that was in the works. So if he decides to watch this, he will now know that we had big plans for him.
Oh man, that's disappointing. I was really hoping that he would, like, did he catch on? Like, I guess we can't really go down that road. What was he playing?
Yeah, linebacker and special teams.
And he's just out there making plays, shutting you guys down.
Not happy about it.
Just shutting you guys out. Like, no points will be scored on this field while I'm here.
Unreal.
I thought about it. If I didn't have to work, I was going to come to the game, and I was going to hit up Taj and be like, hey man, like, let me get your away jersey. I'm going to show up. Like, I'll go sit on the other team's sidelines and just be like, I don't know. Like, hey, their defensive coordinator is trash. Why are
Unreal.
Well, if there's one thing I could do, it's get into the head. Like, whether it has an impact on the game or not, we'll never know. But there was other things in the works that you don't even know about. So enough. William,
yes, sir.
It's game week. Finally, Detroit Lions playing some football. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say too much because we just recorded an episode, so I don't want to give a lot away about what we just talked about. That episode will be out later tonight. But how are you feeling with the NFL season coming back?
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. We got an opportunity to go to the preseason game, and our I didn't even get a chance to talk to you about this. We haven't got a chance to talk, guys, because there's been so much going on, too much. But my ticket guy called because I didn't switch my seats on time, and I had shot a message to him because I was trying to go back and forth to see what we wanted to do. And he called me back, and I got to move my seats, man. So the preseason game, we got to sit in the new seats, buddy.
Where are you at now?
I think it's 36, and then like 11.
You got moved over and up? Unbelievable.
He said something about Detroit didn't 313. Like, I don't know.
Perks of the package.
So now I think Sarah and Emily are going to be sitting up.
And we're sitting in the nosebleeds.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Might not even let us into the stadium. Like, have to Connor Stallions this and wear a disguise to get in.
Sunglasses, hair, whole deal.
Little mustache I have to put on. Yeah, I was watching some college football over the weekend, and it kind of held me over. And I was sitting there thinking, like, I used to be a diehard college football fan, but now I'm kind of reeled in, and I'm like, this is not entertaining for me. Like, I'm ready for the Detroit Lions. Are you in the same boat?
Man, I can't wait for the Detroit Lions. It is 100% Detroit Lions. If I'm choosing in between the two, it's Lions hands down. I don't know, man. I don't want to get into too much on that, but it's all
just
Lions.
I'm just ready for the NFL. Like Thursday night, going up to the open house for the Detroit Lions. I know you have work stuff going on. And then Thursday night after that, open house for the Lions. Going to go up there, walk around, see some stuff. I don't even know what it's going to include, but we are going. And then Thursday night football, Ravens and Chiefs. Friday night, we have a Peacock game. So this whole week is football week. I think there's even college football tonight. So Tuesday and Wednesday is really like the only days we got to suffer through as football fans.
Yeah, man. It's when I think about this season, just I don't want to get into anything that could be like a show for us. And guys, put some questions in the chat, man. We'll definitely address those. That's why we're here. But going into this season, we talked about this last year, which is why I want to hit it. Last year we said home playoff game. All right. I've heard Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes say the expectation is a Super Bowl. Are we actually two Detroit Lions fans that are going into a season planning on winning a Super Bowl?
Well, you haven't booked your tickets to New Orleans yet?
Buddy, those are like signed, sealed. I already got my places to eat. I'm trying to get my Nyland swang going. Like it's I'm ready, buddy.
I'm there for the gumbo, the beignets, some crawfish. In my mind, I'm already in New Orleans. I'm locked in. And I heard that Brad Holmes interview the other day, and I think it was Danny Rogers who was asking him, like, what's the expectations for this season? Super Bowl, period. Like, no, what more do you need from me, Danny? Like, there's your answer. That's what the expectations are.
Yep.
That's crazy. Because just a few years ago, like, we're like, man, are the Lions going to be picking in the top 5? Is the season over by week 6? Like, what are we talking? And now it's, have you guys made flight arrangements?
Right.
What size ring do you wear? Like that it's kind of crazy how we've gone from two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it, man. I'm pumped for it.
Do you think Matt Wise is up and leaves Karen? I mean, we can't say too much. J-Rod, I don't know if that's the same J-Rod that we haven't gone live in a while. If that's the same J-Rod, I think it is. But we literally just recorded an episode. It will be out tonight, probably around 8:00. Don't want to dive too much into that, but there's a little zest on that episode, I'll say.
Yeah.
William, if we actually go to the Super Bowl, I don't know how I function for the rest of my life, let alone like having responsibilities. I'm no good to anyone for a while.
Sir, I might have to take a week off. Well, how about this, Steve? Not that one. This one. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the name of the NFL. Everyone starts out on a fresh slate. Everyone's made offseason moves, not just the Detroit Lions. Everyone's had drafts. Everyone thinks their drafts are great. Everyone loves it on paper. How does it translate to the field? I think Brad Holmes has a track record of saying my draft picks translate to production. Mm-hmm. I don't think a lot of GMs can say that. So I think that's where a lot of the hype comes from. I've been talking about it the last week or so. We're not just talking about draft picks. We're talking about draft picks who come into the games, are impact players, if not starters, if not Pro Bowlers, if not first team all rookie. Like that's the difference is the Brad Holmes draft.
Yeah, I feel the opposite though, man. Honestly, I feel like I agree with what you're saying. I feel the opposite of big fat winner here, man. I don't feel like every team is planning on winning the Super Bowl. I think every team is planning on being more successful than they were the year before. But there was a plenty of years that I was not planning on the Detroit Lions winning the Super Bowl. I was hoping that we would have a winning season and get to the playoffs. Now, Super Bowl is always a dream, but I feel like there's a handful of teams that are really thinking, hey, we have what it takes to win a Super Bowl this year. And I think the Detroit Lions are one of them. And so does Las Vegas, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, teams like the Panthers, like you could say, yeah, our expectations to win the Super Bowl. A fan with no ties to the Panthers, my expectation would be, I hope y'all win 5 games. Like it's just a difference. So I will Bobby Stark, are y'all any away games? I know I'm penciled in personally for going to the Colts game. I think that's the week before Thanksgiving. I know I have that weekend off work, and I'll find out within 6 seconds of saying this that if my wife is on, I'm kind of looking at going into Houston and check the comments. Something's going to be coming within 5 seconds if that's a no for me. But I'm looking at going to Houston. I got some friends in Texas that I could probably crash with and get down there for an affordable price.
Yeah, that Colts game is going to be easy.
All right, there it is. I'm not going to Houston. Okay.
He might still be going, Sarah.
Yeah,
But
I have a work trip. Sorry, nothing I could do. Lions happen to be playing down there. Nothing I could do.
J-Rod?
J-Rod. I think that's the old J-Rod. I don't know. He changed his handle if it is, but if not, appreciate you becoming a member. Much appreciated. Are you in two? Oh, that's for Craig. Sorry. I'll let Craig answer that one. Yeah, I plan on going to that Indianapolis game. That's drivable for us. And we'll see if I can do a little sweet talking about that Houston trip.
For sure.
Maybe I buy my wife something nice and she says, all right, yeah, have fun in Houston. I'll drop you off at the airport.
Sarah, he already told me that he was going to get you an even bigger ring.
Absolutely not. She just got that ring last year. It's still good for at least 20 more years. I think I'm still good on that one.
Something about 10 carats. I don't know what he was talking about. I couldn't understand him.
We're going to need a lot more subscribers if we're buying 10 carat rings. I need you guys to hit that subscribe button like my life depends on it. You think this is going to be like a playoff atmosphere on Sunday night, or is this another game?
It's definitely in between. A little bit more than another game. Anytime I think Matt comes to town, even though I have kind of got off of the Matt Stafford, like, oh my God, it's Matt Stafford. But I think that it's always going to be a thing. But it'll be above a normal game, but it won't. That playoff atmosphere was crazy. That was crazy. So I think it'll be in between. What do you think?
Lamar Jackson said something earlier in the season. I think it was after the draft when I think it had to have been probably when the schedule came out. We saw that the Ravens were going to Kansas City on the opening night. And he kind of made it sound like, man, it's just another game. Like, we're going to treat it like any other game. I don't want the Lions to have that mindset, especially against an NFC opponent. Like the Rams kept us out of the playoffs a couple years ago. This is not just another game. Like it might be another game because it's just week 1. But the thing about the NFL and why I love it so much is because it's more important. Like when you look at baseball, you can literally lose 20 games in a row. Hockey, you can lose 10, 15 games in a row. Basketball, you can be the Detroit Pistons and be out of it by like week 2 games. Yeah, week 2. In the NFL, you can't afford to have 3-4 game losing streaks. Every game does matter, especially games against your division and then games against people in the same conference as you. Because like I said, the Rams kept us out of it. So I don't want that mindset like Lamar Jackson has going into Kansas City. This game is important. Is the environment going to be a playoff environment? No, obviously, but I think Detroit fans are hungry. I think you saw it. Well, you were at that preseason game and it was sold out. You could tell on TV that there's a Detroit difference.
Yeah, that preseason game, I remember I was telling people I got there and I was like looking around like, did I just walk into a regular season game on accident. It was crazy, man. Like Detroit is bought into supporting the Detroit Lions. It's unbelievable. So I can't imagine what that atmosphere is going to be like again for the regular season as well as the preseason. If you got an opportunity, and I know tickets are astronomical, like with Sheila, we got to talk about the ticket prices. But if you get an opportunity to go to a regular season game, you got to do it, man, because it's special. It's special.
What's the one game you're looking forward to the most? Home game.
I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough. I'd have to say, anytime we get an opportunity to step on Stafford's face, and then I get an opportunity to watch Kelly Stafford go on to whatever talk shows and podcasts that not to be trivial, but she kind of she rubs me the wrong way with the stuff that she does. So if we could just really upset her and send Stafford home packing, that would be a good start to the season for me. What about you?
Yeah, Kelly, like, to say that you felt like your kids were unsafe, listen,
Yeah,
I'd be the first one to buy those little girls some ice cream. Okay? I'd be the first. But when that ball goes in the air, I'm not gonna be so nice. All right. Not to the kids, but you're in enemy territory. I know this used to be home for you, Kelly, but this is a hostile environment now. Okay.
I can't understand why I didn't have a box set up for me and my kids. And
like Detroit did 3-3 doesn't even get the red carpet treatment. You think Kelly Stafford's going to get it? Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
Boo them kids. I will boo some kids. Yeah, we did an episode earlier today about some homecoming stuff. There's another guy that some people may have forgotten about. If you're not I don't want to spoil it too much, but we got a good one coming out tonight at 8:00. Probably one of our best episodes.
Yeah.
No joking aside. But if you guys have any questions, fire it off. Hit that like button. It drives the channel, pushes us to a bigger audience. It's greatly appreciated. And if you're new, never seen our mediocre faces before, maybe subscribe if you feel bad enough for us.
Yeah. Steve, how do you feel about the division this year? Like,
man,
Vikings.
The Vikings. I tell you what, when JJ got hurt, JJ McCarthy, I was like, oh man, it kind of like takes away from some of the competition that we're going to have in the division. But I still think the Vikings are going to be good. They still have Justin Jefferson, who's the best receiver in football. But I don't know, Caleb Williams, I haven't seen anything out of him yet. Like, you can look great in preseason, that's fine. Packers, obviously, I think they're going to be the Packers. I think they're going to be good, but I think our division is going to be a lot tougher this year. What do you think?
I was thinking the same thing. I wasn't rooting for JJ. I'm on the same board that we talk about. Hey, once the college stuff is over, it's a different ball game. But I'm kind of disappointed that Sam isn't going to have to listen to the grumblings of putting JJ in, because I don't think that JJ was ready. But I think that the fans could have created an atmosphere that would have warranted maybe him getting a shot or people losing their job. So I'm a little bit disappointed that Sam is going to be able to play without JJ nipping at his ankles. But then I am the Bears, man. The Bears scare me. Some of those throws that Caleb Williams made, those crazy throws, Mahomes-ish throws, and I think he may be a little bit more dynamic with his feet than Mahomes, and then just all of the pieces to the pie that they have in that receiver room. DeAndre Swift doesn't scare me because he typically doesn't stay healthy. He's a good player, but I don't see him being a down in, down out, playing, every week and then going into making a playoff run. And then we talk about those Packers, man. I respect what they did to us on Thanksgiving, man, and the success that Love has had. So I think that I agree with you, man. Our division is gonna be a tough division, but I just don't think that anybody else has everything that we have. And with our upgrade to the receiving core or the defensive back room, those receiving cores are gonna be they're gonna be strapped up, man.
When I think of like who concerns me, it's probably the Bears. And I freaking hate saying that. I hate giving any types of props to the Bears, but I think what the Lions struggled at last year was passing defense, and it remains, we'll figure it out if that got fixed or not in a couple weeks. But the Bears are loaded at wide receiver. They're loaded offensively. Not so much. I'm not worried about Swift or their running game, but this is a passing league, and they got Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Like that's a nice, that might have the best receiving core in football.
Yeah, no, I agree with it, man. Especially in without question, man, it's probably the top 3 in our division. With a 3-man team. But I like our top 2 against anybody's top 2 in NFL. I will say that.
Who's our top 2?
It's and I'm not gonna scream, but it's Amon Ra and Waymo, who's about to go nuts this year.
I guess I never asked, how do you feel about that Tim Patrick signing, since we're talking about receivers?
I think that Tim Patrick is gonna be a solid piece for us once he gets acclimated. I think it's gonna be similar to Denver, though. He's not gonna be anything that's crazy. Maybe he's just another Josh Reynolds. If he can build that rapport with Jared Goff, he'll be a guy that you can count on to make plays here and there, push the needle for some first downs. But I'm not looking for anything crazy from him. What do you think?
I think the only thing that concerns me with Patrick is that he hasn't played football in 2 years. Like he's kind of on that Emmanuel Mosley plan. Like, what are we getting out of him? How ready is he? Like he looked good in preseason. I went back and watched some of their games after we signed him, but he had an Achilles injury, an ACL injury. That's not nothing to just sweep under the rug. I think if he comes back and he's old Tim Patrick, we got our ex receiver and problems are solved. But 2 years of not playing in the NFLs, I got some questions about that.
I haven't seen him move around either, so I would like to see that as well before I really say. But I do think that he's just a guy that understands the game. He's been around for a little bit now, and still with a little bit of youth to him though. And I think that he can catch on and just be a role player. And I still like Khalif, man. Like I don't want to take anything away from Khalif. He's going to be doing this thing, but we do need that X, man. That's one thing that Khalif can't do. But can J-Mo do it too? Is another thing that we need to think about too. Are they going to play J-Mo out there?
What's been your biggest like surprise from training camp to where we are today?
Honestly, the cut of Isaac Uku. I thought that he was gonna make the team, and I loved what I saw out of him at preseason. Every practice clip that I could get my hand on, I was surprised that he did not make the squad, man. Honestly, but other than that, I kind of think it went similar to what the envision that I had in my mind, like the guys that would make the team, how things would look, kind of like just simple stuff like how Sione Vaki panned out for right now. Let's not get it twisted, because I had a couple people message me on Twitter like, why do you hate Sione Vaki? Like Sione Vaki is going to be.
Tell people, why do you hate Sione Vaki? Why did you call him the biggest draft bust ever?
Right. That's seriously, man. People were messaging me on Twitter like, why do you hate Sione Vaki? Blah, blah, blah. And I don't, man. I love. We were raving. I feel like these people weren't watching the shows up to the draft. Steve and I were raving about Sione Vaki. I just think that it's going to take a little time for him to figure out what he's going to do besides special teams for this team. Is he going to be a guy that helps us out in this defensive back room? Is he going to be a guy that helps us out as kind of a gadget guy in our offensive game? Right? That's going to take time to figure out what he's going to be and what he's going to do. He's going to assist with special teams until then. A lot of times I feel like we get these just attachments to people and what they did in college and what we perceive that is going to happen. NFL is a different game, man. It's tough to come out, even when you got skills, but it's tough to come out there and just be successful at the NFL level at a position you were kind of playing in college. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all, but I think he's going to be a great player for the Detroit Lions. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, he's like insurance. You have to have it. You don't want to have to use it right away. If running backs get hurt, I could see him. He kind of reminds me of like a better pass catching David Montgomery, like not crazy elite speed. He can get open and make some stuff happen, and he can get those tough yards. I don't know if he's going to be as good as David Montgomery, but I think, 2 or 3 years down the road, Demo's getting a little older. Sione Vaki, buck keeps rolling. Still got Jahmyr Gibbs in his prime. Like I could just see him as just kind of a contingency plan, like 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah, I think that he's going to turn into a Detroit Lion player that's a staple for the Detroit Lions that we can't lose. And I say that because he'll be similar and maybe even better than a Malcolm Rodriguez in a sense of like he's a guy that can play in the interior of a punt team. He's a guy who could probably go outside and play gunner for the punt team. You can put him on kickoff. There'll be so many different places that you can play him. He'll become a piece that is so special. You can throw you can do punt fakes and bring him in for gadget plays. It's just so many different things. Handling the football, throwing the football. He'll be, and I stand on this. In the next few seasons, Sione Vaki is going to be a guy who just makes a kind of random play that helps us win a football game, whether he blocks a punt, whether he catches a punt fake, whether, whatever it is, makes a tackle that forces a fumble on special teams. He's going to do something that helps us win a football game. And that's why I love him.
I got a hot question for you, William, and I don't want no politicians to answer it like I know you're probably going to give me.
Oh, boy.
What's your biggest concern going into the season?
Oh, that's easy, man. The biggest concern for me is this D-line, man. And I know that probably sounds crazy with everything that we've talked about this offseason, but DJ Reader being a little banged up and having a minor setback, Broderick Martin going out and hitting that IR, Marcus Davenport being a kind of a question mark, and if he's going to be a guy that can play all season. Are we going to run into a similar D-line issue than we did last year? Or are these guys going to be able to come back and contribute? Are we going to get Davenport? Is he going to be a dude? Is guys like Wingo going to be able to contribute like we think he's going to contribute and on a fast place? Is Pascal going to step up? Like, these are all question marks for me. These aren't things that I feel like I just kind of know. Ennis Rakestraw, I know who he is after watching this film and seeing some NFL preseason. Terrion Arnold, I know what he is after watching his film and seeing some NFL preseason and some camp stuff. I feel like we know what we're going to get from that secondary. And then we haven't even gotten to a Meek and Carlton Davis, who have a body of work that's already true in the NFL. Secondary, back half, linebackers. We know what all of those pieces are defensively. And when we flip over to that offense, it's kind of the same thing. We know what we're getting from that offensive line. We know what we're getting from our skill positions. So for me, the biggest question mark going into the season is that D-line. Are they going to be nasty? Are they going to be aggressive? Are they going to be impactful? Or are we going to be having another year where they're a question mark for us? What about you? What you think, man?
William, a couple weeks ago, when Penei Sewell had that little scare with his foot injury, I hopped on here. I did an episode, and I played it real calm, cool, collected, like nothing to worry about. I was shitting myself deep down. Okay. I deserve an Oscar for that performance because I was absolutely terrified, if I'm being honest. Like, this is an open space. I was scared, worrying about this backup offensive line and what might happen. And I think Penei Sewell is the one guy we absolutely cannot lose on the offensive line. If something happens to Decker, Penei can flip over there. We could put Skip at right. Interior offensive line, we got Graham Glasgow. We can kind of shuffle around. But if we lose Penei Sewell, I was not in a good place mentally for about 12 hours until I found out he was okay. So I worry about if something happens like that in the backup O-line depth. The second two preseason games, they looked okay. The first preseason game, we were going against the Giants starters, and they were kind of having their way with the offensive line. That kind of was a concern for me. I feel much better at peace today than I did a couple weeks ago in all the Hendon Hooker talk. How do you feel if something happens to Goff and injuries happen? You think Hendon Hooker could carry the load for maybe 4 games if something were to happen?
Honestly, I think that if Hendon or if Jared Goff went down, I don't know that we go to Hendon Hooker, right? And I'm a hook, like, before you guys beat me up, I'm a fan of Hendon Hookers, right? But before, I think if Jared Goff was to go down in the beginning of the season, especially, I think that we probably bring a veteran guy in. I don't think it would be Fromm either. I think we bring a veteran guy in to lead this team. That's when you go get, as you say, a Ryan Taney thrill. That's when you go get somebody off of their couch that's been tried and true, that's recently retired. You go get somebody to just win you some football games immediately, and then go on about their business. I feel like Hendon is another season away from being a dude, or maybe at the back end of this season, maybe we could turn it over week 10, 11, 12, 13. Maybe he can win us some games. But right now, he doesn't get on that back foot and get the ball out on time. He has a little bit of some accuracy issues. Now, is it exciting when he gets in there? Do I think that he offers some things that Jared Goff can't offer? Absolutely, but he doesn't have command and control of this offense quite yet, but it is coming. I think he's going to be a special player, and I'm excited for it. So, non-politicians' answers being real. No, I don't think that Hendon Hooker is the person that we should go to if Jared Goff goes down at the beginning of the season. In the back half of the season, I could see him being ready.
You really
Do you
just
agree or disagree?
you just deflated my life.
Why? You thought I was
The,
going to say he was ready?
the beginning of this episode, we started talking Super Bowl, New Orleans, food. All that goes to waste, and I have to put my faith in Ryan Tannehill. Like, buddy, like
I thought you called him Ryan Tannehill.
I'd rather have warm cereal on a cold winter's day than have to watch Ryan Tannehill play quarterback for the Detroit Lions potentially. I would much in that scenario, Ryan Tannehill or Hendon Hooker. You think you have to start someone 4 days from now? It's not going to be Ryan Tannehill. It's not going to be Ryan Tannehill. He's not ready.
Yeah, honestly, man, I think that it would all be contingent upon somebody knowing our stuff. So the first thing, Goff goes down. Hey, he's looking at 2 to 4 weeks that he's going to be out. The first thing that I'm going to do is say, hey, listen, Teddy, I know that you are coaching high school football, but is there any way that you could come run this team? You know our offense. You have a rapport with Ben. You have a rapport with these guys. Can you just get us through these few weeks? We will ship you home on Friday nights to go coach football. Sheila will give you the private jet back and forth from practice. Can you just come out here and put a Band-Aid on this thing for us? After that, it would be, and not necessarily Ryan, but just somebody of that caliber who is familiar with our offensive style. That's who I would be looking for, somebody to push this needle. I would not be, because I worry about this. If you put Hendon out there, do you put him in a situation where he can lose confidence because he's not ready? Right? He is still, to me, this is his rookie season. Right? He didn't get to play last season. So this is his rookie season. I'm not going to rush him out there. I want to get him some time in the saddle behind a veteran guy who knows what he's doing. And then after that, I'm going to turn this thing over to him and just let him spread those wings and fly. But give him some time, let him learn how this NFL game works, and then turn it over to him. So would you rather do the contrary? Would you rather just turn this thing over to Hendon and just hope that we can keep this thing afloat?
I think Hendon's a guy. I was excited watching him. I know he was going against backups, but he was also playing with backups. Like, we don't really have any offensive weapons on the second string offense besides Isaiah Williams and Sione Vaki, and they were torching people. You put Hendon with St. Brown, an offensive line, Jamison Williams, Laporta, Gibbs, and Montgomery. Who's stopping that offense? And now you throw in a wrinkle where I don't need Hendon to be an MVP. I just need him to carry the load for a couple games. Yeah. He can do some things a little differently, and I think I would feel much more comfortable with Hendon Hooker. And I saw the game tape. I saw him actually play football. That was my only thing the whole offseason was how's the game going to translate? I could see it translating. And we're not talking like 16 games, 3 or 4. I think we at least go 3-1 during whatever stretch. If you look at our schedule, there's no 4-game stretch that really scares me.
Yeah. So, and I see John Bender put a question here, and a couple people are kind of in the same. Why would Hendon not be ready? And to me, that's an easy question. It's all about when you watch him play, the timing of the plays and the decisiveness of what he's doing. Even though we can say that people weren't open and people weren't getting separation, he wasn't making decisive decisions, and he was kind of pump faking it. He looked a little bit confused at times. We have to be able to get to the back of that drop, decide, where are we delivering that football, and throw it in the dirt or to the green grass over that guy's head or take off. That's not what I was seeing. I wasn't seeing decisive decisions when he got to the back of his drop. That's how this game's work, guy. That's how this game works when we're watching it, guys. So you got now throws, you got 3-step throws, you got 5-step throws. When they get to the back of the drop in the NFL, you got to be making that decision. When you're looking at quarterback play, that's what I'm looking at. When you get to the back of that drop, is that decision getting made? Or are you pump faking? Are you looking confused? Are you looking like you're a little bit unsure of what's going on? There's still a little bit of unsureness. Not anything that I'm worried about, not anything that we should panic about, but I don't want to start to put him out there before he's ready to be decisive with that football. Because even if a guy's not open, and open looks different in college than it does in the NFL. Jalen Hyatt was just running by guys at Tennessee, and he was just throwing it over the top and flying around. In the NFL, open might mean I have leverage on a guy inside or outside, and I'm putting that ball on him rather than seeing separation. Or I'm throwing it to green grass and letting that guy run into the open green grass. So I got to be able to see him make those throws and those reads first before I'm going to say that we're going to turn this team over to him because I don't want him to have to go through a process that could change him. Joey Harrington is somebody that sneaks out in my mind, man. Joey Harrington was a good quarterback. He was running for his life in Detroit, and he turned himself, or it turned him into a bad quarterback because his QB clock was way faster because he was running for his life. I don't want Hendon to go through that, and I don't want to see him get hurt. Let's get a guy that can come in, be decisive, understand the offense, and understand the defenses that are in front of him. Coming up to that line of scrimmage, you got to understand what they're doing. A highlight sticks out in my mind of Cam Newton, not saying that Cam Newton is the greatest aspect of this, like Peyton Manning's of the world are better, but understanding, hey, when is a guy coming? If you guys look this up on TikTok or Twitter, it's Cam Newton, a linebacker's creeping down like he's going to blitz, and he looks at him and says,
you're not coming.
Blitzing. Yeah, you're not blitzing, man. Like understanding what guys can do per their leverage, where they're standing, what they're doing, what do teams do, how do they align to certain formations, how do they react to certain things. He's just not there yet. It takes time. Once he gets there, he's going to be a problem, though.
William. There you go.
Wow.
You're forgetting one thing, William.
Talk to me.
What the Detroit Lions don't know is that they can sign someone from the stands, perhaps maybe like a guy who's won 4 Heisman trophies and 4 national championships in college football. Like I come into that game, we just drop that down to rookie mode, make it real easy for me. Like that's something that a lot of people aren't thinking about. Like we can just hit pause, settings, difficulty, varsity, drop it down to rookie. We're number 99, Steve Vaughn. Like we'll do it all. Like it's an option.
We need you here, man.
Bring in the heater from section 139. I'm maybe 4 or 5 beers deep, but I'm not going to say I can't get the job done.
I will say this, Wayman Jones, if you are watching, please comment about Steve's pump fake, because I heard
that Perkins, baby, it's a thing. Best in the biz. If you guys got any questions, fire it off. I see a lot of people talking, and we're on about 4 different platforms, so you guys might not be able to see all the questions, but if you guys got any, fire it off, man. We got like seven more minutes, then we'll shut her down and get some stuff done. But man, I can't wait for football. Like our tailgate's ready. We already know what we're cooking, what we're grilling, what time we're going. We're going so early that my wife doesn't even want to go. She's going to hitchhike the rest of the road. But it's football time, man. I can't wait. Like we're set. We're locked in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, J-Rod said don't forget he's a class clown. Yeah, because Trey Lance is kind of crazy, J-Rod.
Did he get cut? I know he was with the Cowboys. Did they end up cutting him? I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't see. If they cut him, that would have been crazy though. Do you know if Broderick Martin will be back? I haven't seen whether or not he's coming back. I just know he went to the IR.
And that's four games, I think, right off the rip. So yeah, so really 5, because we have a week 5 bye. So we won't see Broderick Martin until at the earliest.
Golly.
You know what time it is, Russ. You know what time it is. You saw the QB 54. You saw it. Everyone. I don't know why I will. Everyone knows, man. Stevie the Slinger. That's what they call him. Right?
Gracious,
Pocket Presence Perkins. Like there's a lot of different things I've been called in the day. A lot of different things. Pump fake Perkins. Like it's just sometimes it gets out of control. Yeah, Broderick Martin. We probably won't see him till at the earliest week 6. Just with the IR week 5 bye week. So I don't even know who we play in week 6 off the top of my head. Doesn't matter. They're coming here and taking a loss. Doesn't matter.
Oh, I love that too, J-Rod. He said he's ready for Levi. I'm ready for Levi too, man. Everything's been good that they've talked about so far. I love that Dan Campbell talked about him at big end. So when we get a GJ Reader back, just the thought of just having Aline, Levi at the end position, DJ Reader and Hutch out there all at the same time excites me.
Final question, William.
What you got? I'm scared.
Who will the Detroit Lions be playing in the Super Bowl this year?
Oof. Buffalo Bills.
Oh, you think the Bills are making the playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is gonna be another Jim Kelly situation though.
I don't think the Bills are even making the playoffs. They're lucky. You know what makes them really lucky is they get to play New England twice. That's at least 2 wins. But the Bill, who scares you on their team?
Josh Allen.
Nah.
What?
James Houston will come in and put him in his back pocket again.
I think Cook's going to take a step forward. Keon Coleman's going to ball.
Keon Coleman didn't even know where to sign his contract or if they wanted it in cursive, and that's a true story, William.
I understand. I understand that. I've been hearing all that, but I also remember that how dumb they were saying CJ Stroud was. Oh, though he got a 0 on the Wonderlic and he's going to be terrible and blah, blah, blah. And then you see him lighting the league on fire. So.
I'm not worried. I don't think the Bills are winning their division. I think the Jets or the Dolphins will be battling it out for the winner. And in the AFC, there's like the whole AFC. What is it? The AFC East with the Steelers? I can't, or is that, no, that's the North. Like they could have 3 teams in the playoffs too. So I don't even think the Buffalo's going to make the playoffs, if I'm being honest. Like they lost Stephon Diggs. They don't have a running game. They had guys on their defense literally dying. Right. They had guys on their team dying on the football field a couple years ago. So I like, what are we talking about? You're like, we can't bring everybody back to life. We definitely can't bring back the Buffalo Bills back to life.
Yeah. Who you think they're going to see? I see somebody put the Texans in the chat.
Texans is probably my leading choice. Dark horse, kind of. Bengals. Yeah, I think the Bengals are going to bounce back if they get Jamar Chase's contract figured out. I think the Bengals are a sneaky team.
Did you see what Jamar Chase said?
I saw that their coach came out and said that everything was good. Yeah, Jamar Chase is playing. And Jamar came out and said, I don't know who he's been talking to, but I ain't playing. So, no, what's going on?
He said that he wants to be paid 1 cent more than Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I did see that. Not happening, buddy.
Yeah, 1 cent. That's all I need. Just 1 cent more.
Not happening. I don't think he's better than Justin Jefferson.
I don't either. Yeah, Justin Jefferson's the second best receiver in NFL.
Bengals, Lions, February, New Orleans. One Pride Nation takes over the French Quarter and Bourbon Street, and we just raise hell.
They need a running back to make it to the Super Bowl.
Joe Burrow out there dyeing his hair, looking like Eminem now. Like they just want to beat Detroit so bad. It's sad. Yeah, Joe Shady.
Yeah. Brett said Justin Jefferson is the best receiver. Nah, number 2, buddy. Number 2.
Yeah, behind Stevie Slots, Lions, Ravens. Have you guys done any homework on Tim Patrick? Yeah, we talked about him earlier. We went over that. He's solid if he's healthy. He hasn't played football in 2 years though. I mean, it's not opinion. That's just facts. How much rust is on those tires? I don't know.
Wayne will be the best at the end of the year.
Did you see what Jameson Williams said?
No, I didn't. What'd he say?
Yeah, I can't remember who was interviewing him. He said that he wanted to lead the league in receiving yards and touchdowns.
I think it's possible.
This year?
Yeah. I do, man. I do. I told you, and guys, I'm clowning with the best receiver in the league. In my opinion, as it stands right now, I do believe that Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the league. But I do believe, and I said this earlier this year, that we could go into a season where Jameson Williams ends up with more touchdowns and more yards than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Amon-Ra is going to kill him in receptions, but if J-Mo gets hot, you could see J-Mo go off, and he's going to be making big chunk plays, long touchdowns, long chunk plays, where they're exciting, and he's making things happen because you still got to deal with Sam Laporta, you still got to deal with Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you still got to deal with our run game. So how are you going to deal with Jameson Williams with all of that going on?
I can see him leading in touchdowns just because he can get him the ball in 100 different ways. We could run like a little wildcat or something. I don't want to see it. Kind of a possibility, but yeah, St. Brown, like he might get a couple touches on some trickery. I know his rookie year he had some end arounds and stuff, but now that we have Jameson Williams, like yeah, he could run the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball. I could see him getting. I could see like 12 to 14 touchdowns.
Now, we talked about this last year. How many touches would make you happy per game for Jameson Williams? 5
to 7. Nothing crazy.
I need 7 touches.
7? I'm happy with 7 because that's possibly 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And
It
like
could-
period.
Yeah. Or at least, yeah, I won't even do it in the touches because he's a receiver, unless you're going to count a target as a touch. So
no, it's like actually gets the football.
yeah, so I'm going to say five touches at a minimum, but I need 7 targets per game. Period. Like he needs at least 7 targets per game. Period.
I'll let you answer this one.
I would say so. Because you need guys to be more athletic in the NFL, right? So with the new rule, if you put a big lineman out there, is he going to be able to run and block and be athletic and line guys up that are on that kickoff team that are going to be linebacker, athletic DN, rush DN type guys and safety type guys? So yeah, I believe that's a thing why we kept more guys.
Ooh, I want to close it with this one, Will. I think our defense will be elite, top 5 in the NFL this year. I'll tell you right now, on record, we have a top 5 defense. I'm just going to start scouting out parking spots on Woodward for the parade. Like, that's where I'm at with this defense. Defense has been my kryptonite for the past season. If this defense is top 5 and offense is top 5, who's beating us?
Yeah. I'll say to that, and we kind of mentioned it earlier. Denny, I'm not sure if you heard us talking about it earlier, but I think it just boils down to this D line. If this D line is disruptive, then I do 100%. I think that's what it boils down to. We will have a top 5 defense if it is. If it isn't, we'll be middle of the pack and below. Because again, I don't care who you are, even if they reincarnated Deion Sanders and put him out there, you know what I mean, or cloned him. You can only cover for so long, and you're not allowed to touch these guys anymore. Where this is an NFL where they want to see people score points. If you do not have a defensive line that's disruptive, your secondary is going to struggle. So let's get DJ Reader back healthy. Let's get Broderick Martin back. Let's get Wingo being disruptive, hopefully. Levi Onwuzurike, Davenport. Like if these guys can get going, then it'll be good. If not, I think we'll be middle of the pack, and we'll be dependent on Goff putting this thing on his shoulders and getting it done.
I just need football here, William. I'm just over
Can't
here.
wait.
It's just miserable until I see the Lions play.
Steve, I just saw a ghost. Santa Claus just entered the Facebook chat. Bill Nida, what is up, man? Hope you're doing well. He said, "Hey boys, miss you. You're doing great, man. Bill, I hope you're doing all right, man. Good to hear from you."
Bill. I'm not monitoring Facebook, so I didn't see him on there. But good to see you, Bill. Miss you. OG from Fermi.
Yeah.
We just told everyone where we work. We're not safe there now. That was a slip.
New jobs.
Yeah. 2
right,
weeks
we're going
notice. If any managers are watching, this is officially my 2 weeks notice.
Okay.
Baby Donald.
Todd watches the show, so he might be texting you like, "Okay, understand."
Speaking of Todd, I know a lot of people don't know who Todd is, but I still want to do that thing that we talked about on a weekend.
Yeah.
And I'll just say it because I know he's not watching.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to make that happen. Like,
yeah.
Must. And someone has to tag him in what we do.
100%.
Man, I wish it was like today. Just going in and, "Hey Todd, I'm here now. This is my office." Final questions. I was only planning on doing 45 minutes, but some of the questions are starting to roll in Lions related. So, last one, because this is something I think we kind of discussed. If the defense is not in the top 15, does AG keep his job?
I think it's contingent, man. If they're not, if there's injury issues and concerns, then I think AG does keep his job. If we have guys healthy, and don't get me wrong, there's going to be injuries in the NFL, but if you got DJ Reader doesn't get to play, no Broderick Martin, Levi isn't who we think that he's going to be, no Marcus Davenport, then at the end of the day, you can't hang your hat on that being AG, right? But if we got our guys out there for the most part, and we're getting diced up, then hey, we got to look a different direction. It's kind of how I feel about it. But I'm a fan of what AG has done, especially after I went back and I started watching all of these games over again. He's multiple. He does different things week to week. His blitz schemes are awesome. I like how he made the adjustment last season with not having that guy that decided to go back home to where they were talking nasty about him. And I ain't even gonna mention his name. You know how I am about these guys when they leave. But how he made the adjustments, man, bringing along guys like Ife Melifonwu. I'm a big fan of AG, man. So I hope that he's successful.
I think what a lot of people forget is how banged up this team was last year, especially in the secondary. There's a reason we had to pick up Kendall Vildor off of the Chicago Bears' practice squad. We lost CJ Gardner-Johnson for 90% of the season. Emmanuel Mosley went down. Cam Sutton started to struggle, and we just showed that really Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph were the only dependable pieces in the secondary last year. You can't defend, that big of a field with just two guys. So I think those injuries kind of bought him a little bit more time. And Brad went out and addressed it. Like our whole secondary, like Kirby Joseph's the OG of the secondary now. He's been there the longest, and he's still on a rookie deal. So I think AG catches some heat, and I've given him some heat because at times I get frustrated, and I'm like, how the hell are we giving up, 99-yard plays to the Chicago Bears on 3rd and 13 or whatever it may be? Like that stuff shouldn't happen, but it's the NFL. Sometimes these guys go out there and they got Dak Prescott wrapped up in the end zone for a safety, and he slips out and gives up a 97-yard touchdown. Like that's not on AG. That's on execution and piss poor tackling. So we got to kind of cut him a little slack.
Can I give everybody a reason why we don't need to worry about AG this year?
Why is that?
Terrell Williams. Good night.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the show. We'll have another one out tonight, 8:00. It's a good one, good topic, good discussion. And we're getting ready for game day. So if you have any questions, leave it in some comments on some previous episodes. Stick around, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.